Hello students, I am here with another video from the chapter of class 7th NCERT book, that is chapter number 13, Motion and Time. Before starting today's video, I would like to tell you all that till now, what are things we have discussed in this chapter. So we have started with the chapter by the definition of the word motion, where I told you that whenever an object is moving from one place to another place, it is changing its position. Now, if we talk about an object when it is in motion, it means that it always changes its position. For example, if the thing is present at point A, it is going to move towards point B, and if it is changing its position with respect to time, it is said to be as in motion. Okay, and then we have discussed about the different types of motion, where the first type which we discussed was the slow or fast motion. Now, when we are talking about slow and fast motion, it means that we are simply taking in consideration the speed of the vehicle. So, the speed of the vehicle means it is either the object is moving slowly or it is moving in a fast motion. Why? Because if the speed is more, the object is said to be in fast motion. And if the speed is less, it means that vehicle is moving in a slow motion. Okay, then we have also seen about the two types of motion, that is the uniform motion and the non-uniform motion. Now, if we talk about uniform motion, which means that an object is it is traveling with a constant speed, it means that it is covering equal distance in equal interval of time. Okay, for example, we take that one car is moving in 1 second, it moves 1 meter, then in 2 seconds it moves 2 meter, and in 3 seconds it is moving 3 meters. Okay, and this continues for a long time. It means that the object is having a constant speed and it is moving in the uniform motion. Okay, next thing which we discussed was about a non-uniform motion. Now, what is that? Non-uniform motion means an object is traveling, it is moving unequal distance, or we should say that it is covering unequal distance in equal interval of time. Okay, now what about unequal distance? For example, if a bus is coming towards its bus stand, then what happens? When it is moving in a traffic area, then because of the traffic, the speed of the car, speed of the vehicle, or speed of the bus, it is variable. Means it is not same at all the times. Why? Because the speed has to move along with the traffic, and it is not going to move, it is not going to be present it should not be in a constant manner, so it is not going to be maintained throughout the motion. So once it is not maintained, it means that it is having a non-uniform motion, means it is showing non-uniform motion. Okay, then we have also discussed about certain means we have seen the numericals which is related with the speed. Okay, we have also solved some questions yesterday which was based upon the speed. Okay, and then we have also seen about the graphs, how it will be made. Now, if we get a straight line graph, when we are drawing, on x-axis we take time and on y-axis we take distance, then at this type of graph, when we are getting straight line, it means it is showing the uniform motion. Okay, similarly, if we have the graph in a curved form, okay, then what happens? If we are having the graph in the curved form, then what we can understand with this type of graph? We can understand that this is the non-uniform motion. Okay, now if we take speed, or if we take the type of motion, it means that it is showing non-uniform motion, and this one is showing the uniform motion. Okay, so this was all about which we discussed yesterday, and now I am going to start with a new topic for today. Okay, so we will deal with a new topic which will be again that extension of this chapter. Now, what will be the topic? I'll just let you know. So the next topic would be the average speed. So some people, some of the students said me that there is some problem in regarding the understanding of average speed. So I'll take up this topic again. This average speed means, so we have discussed about the speed. So speed means when an object is covering some distance with respect to time. So it was the ratio. What was the formula for speed? The formula for speed is equal to distance upon, it was distance upon time taken. Okay, so if we know that speed is equal to distance upon time taken, it means that it is covering some distance with respect to time. Okay, now if we talk about the average speed, now how do we take out average of any of some numbers? I think you all have studied in mathematics that how to find out average. Now if we have some numbers, what if we have some numbers, okay, we add up that and then we divide it by counting the number of units which is given, or which for which we need to find out the average. So here if we have some numbers, we are going to just add it up and we are going to count these numbers for which we are taking out the average. That is 1, 2, 3 and 4. So it will be divided by 4. Now if you add these things, 3 plus 1, 4, 5, 6 and 7. 7 by 4. Okay? Fine. So it means that we will divide and we'll get the answer. Whatever answer we get, that will be the average of these numbers. Now similar concept is there in the average speed. Now how do you calculate the average speed? For example, A travels in 1 second, it travels 1 meter. Okay. B takes 2 seconds to travel 1 meter. Then C takes it takes 3 seconds to travel 3 meters. Okay, and then again D takes 1 second more. In 1 second only it travels 2 meter. Okay, now how you are going to calculate the speed? So first we are going to add up the distance which are given here. So 1 plus 3 meters plus 2 meters. It will be divided by how many seconds? 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 1. Okay, so it will be the sum 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 1. Okay, now we are going to add this up. 3 to 5, 6 and 7. Then 3 plus 1, 4, 5, 6 and 7. So in 7 minutes it has, the person, all these together have travelled 7 meters of distance. So what would be the average speed? Distance upon time taken, it is 1 meter per second is the answer. So it means that the average speed of any vehicle is going to be calculated using the total number of the distance travelled upon total time taken. We are not going to take out the things individually. We are not going to take out the speed individually. We are going to just take up the addition of the data, and then we are going to find out the average speed. Okay, so this was about the average speed. Now I am going to take up the next topic, that is the measurement of time. That is the measurement of time. Now what about the measurement of time? And what we can say that measurement means? How do you measure, or what is the meaning of the word measurement? Measurement means we are calculating something. We are finding out what is the what is the size of this object, or what is the length of this object, or what is the weight of this object. So this is known as measurement. Now how do we measure the time? If we talk about the measurement of time, how do we measure? Just think for a second. We can find out that we measure the time using our wristwatch, or we are going to measure the time by seeing our wall clock. Okay, so there the word comes, if we measure the time, the word comes in our mind as quickly I am going to say this word time, you will just simply say clock or watch. Why clocks and watches? Why it is so? Because these are the devices to measure the time. Okay, so these are the devices to measure the time. It's very simple as that. Why we are going to measure the time? We are going to measure the time using these devices. Okay, so how we are going to measure the device? How we are going to measure the time? We are going to measure the time using the clocks. Now, we have also heard that some of the elder people in our house, they say that by seeing the sun, they say that it is at the noon. What is the time? It might be 12 o'clock, or it is the noon, or if we talk about by seeing the shadow of the people, they can say what is the time exactly or approximately. Okay, so how do they know? They come to know that they are going to measure the time using the direction of the sun, using the direction of your image, I mean shadow. So by looking at the shadow, we can come to know that what would be the time right now. And similarly, during night time, we can see when there is moon, we can see again we can see the shadow and tell what would be the time at this moment. Okay. So at earlier times when there was no clock, there was no watches, so people were used to see the shadows, and then they would be able to tell what is the time right at the moment. Okay, so this is very simple for them, but it's very difficult for us because we have never used it. So I think we will study about different types of clock in this chapter. Okay, so we'll study about different types of clock when we are going to measure this. We are going to proceed with this topic. Now, it could be water clock, it could be candle clock, it could be pendulum clock, okay, it could be digital clock, scientific clock, many are there, okay. So we'll discuss them one by one. First, today I'm going to take up one device, or I'll take very important or very simple, I should say, that I think everybody has seen at least once in your lifetime. You have seen the a pendulum clock. Okay, why I'm discussing this here? Because we are studying about this motion. Okay, so I just wanted to explain you what is the meaning of the word periodic motion, and what is the meaning of the word oscillatory motion. Okay, or what is the meaning of the word about this pendulum clock? What is the meaning of these three words and how they are related? What is the meaning of the word this periodic motion, oscillatory motion, and then pendulum clock? All these are interrelated with each other. So let's begin with the pendulum clock first, okay, and then I'm going to tell you about the periodic motion. I've just given this definition of the periodic motion in the beginning of the chapter, that periodic motion means it is a type of motion when it is going to take place after certain interval of time. Okay, it takes at equal interval of time, it is going to repeat. The motion is going to be repeated. For example, if we talk about the oscillatory motion, or if we talk about a person who is sitting on the swing and the swing is moving once that side and it is coming this side, so this is moving in one this is taking one complete means we are just swinging on it in one complete cycle. Okay, so it is going to be repeated. That motion is going to be repeated after certain time. Okay, so that is known as the periodic motion. Now I'm just going to discuss about one type of periodic motion, which is being shown by the pendulum clock. So that motion becomes oscillatory motion. Okay, now there is some difference between periodic motion and the oscillatory motion. So in periodic motion, it could be a complete cycle, or what happens, it could repeat after some time. For example, rotation of the earth is a periodic motion. Okay, it completes one cycle in 24 hours. So this is known as, that rotation would be considered as periodic motion. At the same time, it is repeated. But what about oscillatory motion? It is a particular type of periodic motion where the object is moving to and fro. Okay, an object is moving only to and fro. So we'll just compare this motion that we are going to study about, this oscillatory motion first. Oscillatory motion. Now what about this oscillatory motion? So I said that oscillatory motion means when an object is moving only to and fro. It is moving to and fro. What is the meaning of the word to and fro? One object is there which is moving, either it is moving on the left side, once it is moving on the right side. Okay, for example, if you tie a stone in the string, what happens? It is moving once this side and then it is coming back towards the next side. Okay. Okay, so if we tie a knot, if we tie one thread with a small stone or some material just below that, it becomes, I think it will look like this. Okay, if I make one, if I have tied, see I have tied one string with an object which was placed just nearby. So I just tied it up right now and I'm showing you this so that it becomes very easy for you all to understand. So if now we are going to study about what is the meaning of how this oscillatory motion works. So if I have tied this object, so this object is hanging with the help of this string, with the red colored string, and now if I move this object, once it is moving on the left side, next it is moving on the right side. So this is what is known as to and fro motion. Okay, so this is known as to and fro motion. It is starting from a point from here. It is moving this side and that side. Okay, so this is known as left and right side. This is known as the oscillatory motion. So this is something different from periodic motion. Why? Because in oscillatory motion the object always moves only from one position towards its right side and towards its left side, just which I told you by hanging that object. Now, the example of this oscillatory object is the simple pendulum. Okay, what is the meaning of the simple pendulum? I will just tell you about this. So, simple pendulum is an instrument which is going to show you the oscillatory motion. Okay, so what are the parts? So, this is the support, this is the string or the thread by which a metallic ball is hanging, a small ball is hanging at the bottom of this string. So this is known as a bob. Okay, so we have two things. Just now I told you by showing this that this object is just like the bob, but it is not looking like this is not a circle. So I cannot say that it is a type of it is just the demo, and it is just the way by which you could understand the thing easily. So here the string is this red colored, and then the bob is just like this small hanging object. It is not looking like a bob. I'm so sorry for this, but still you can understand how is this object working. So this shows once it is moving left to right, so this is known as the oscillatory motion. Okay, so it is moving from left to right. Fine. Now this object is known as the bob, and this is known as the string, and this is the support from which it is hanging. So this is the support from where it is hanging. So this one is the support or the stand. Okay, so this is these are the parts of a simple pendulum. So this depicts that this is a simple pendulum. Okay, so this is about simple pendulum, and it shows oscillatory motion. Okay, so this is about oscillatory, this is about what we are studying is about the oscillatory motion. Now I'll just explain this oscillatory motion means it is a to and fro motion where an object is moving left and right only. Okay, then what happens? So here there are certain words. Now this oscillatory motion is shown by simple pendulum, and simple pendulum is also attached in the clocks, in the wall clock, where you could see that a clock is hanging from a clock is there and a pendulum is hanging just below it. So these types of clocks are available nowadays also, and it was available from the past times also. So we will study about some words which is related with this oscillatory motion. So the first word which I am going to tell you is about what is the meaning of the word oscillation. Okay, what is the meaning of the word oscillation? what is this oscillation? So oscillation means it is the one complete cycle of to and fro motion. Now how much is that? Let's see. So if a pendulum is there and it is moving, so now let us understand the two words here only. What is the meaning of the word mean position and extreme position? Extreme position. Okay, we'll just understand this first. Then I'll go on to the next, that is the oscillation. Okay, so first we'll study the simple things. That first one is the mean position and the extreme position. Now what is the mean position? The oscillation is starting from somewhere. So the starting point is known as, suppose that this is A, so this is known as the mean position. Okay, so this is known as the mean position. Now the next position is the extreme position, as the word only is saying. It is the last point. It means that till where it is moving, on the left side or right side, at last point, that is known as the extreme position. Okay, so here also it has the extreme position. Okay, so at both the places we have one place, the center point from where the oscillation start is known as the mean position, and the two extreme position, one on the left side, other on the right side. So this is, suppose that this is B, so this is C. So B and C are the extreme position. Now I'll just take up the experiment again. I'll just tell you how to how to understand the mean position and the extreme position. Okay, so this is an object. It is hanging over here without movement. Okay, it is hanging over here without movement. Now if it is moving from one side, okay, this position from where it is starting, this is known as the mean position. Okay, now it is starting from one place to another. So if it is moving towards this side, this is known as the extreme position. Okay, so this position where this object is coming is the extreme position, and the object, when it is moving towards this side, this is known as the another extreme position. Okay, if it is moving towards right side and towards left side, so this is known as the extreme positions, both of them, and this middle position is known as the mean position because it is at rest at this point. Okay, so this is about the two positions which we have discussed. One is the mean position where we are starting point, and the ending points here and here, this side. Now we talk about one oscillation. What is the meaning of the word oscillation? Oscillation means one to and fro movement. One to and fro movement means one, to and fro movement. Okay, one, to and fro movement. Now how this is happening, let us understand. So what is the meaning of the word one oscillation? Oscillation means to and fro movement. Now what about one oscillation? One oscillation means an object is at rest. It is the to and fro motion, I said. Now what kind of to and fro motion? It is starting from the mean position. So this object is starting from the mean position. It is moving towards one of its extreme position, coming back to its mean position, going to another extreme position, and coming back to its mean position. So this is known as one oscillation. So an object is at rest, this is at mean position, moving from the mean position towards this side and again moving towards that side. This is known as the one oscillation. Okay, and then it is coming back to its mean position. So please remember, what is the how do you understand about what is the meaning of this one oscillation? One oscillation means that the object is starting from its mean position, moving towards one of its extreme position, coming back to its mean position, going towards next extreme position, and coming back to its mean position. From where we have started, we have come back again there only. So this is known as one oscillation. So how will you define one oscillation? An object is starting from its mean position and then moving towards its extreme position, one of its extreme position, and then coming back to its mean position, going towards next extreme position and coming back to its mean position. So this is known as one oscillation. Okay, so one oscillation, everybody should remember that one oscillation means it is the movement of the bob from its mean position towards one of its extreme position, any side, it could be any side, either sides. So moving towards extreme position, coming back to its mean position, then going back to its extreme position and coming back to its mean position. This is known as the one oscillation. So this is the definition for one oscillation. Now, some more topics are there which needed to be discussed. Now, I just wanted to tell you one more term which is related to this oscillation. So, simple, if you want to speak about oscillation, oscillation means, oscillatory movement means it is the only to and fro movement of any object. That is known as oscillatory motion. Now, what about one oscillation? One oscillation means an object is starting from its mean position, moving towards one of its extreme position, coming back to its mean position, going towards next extreme position and coming back towards its mean position. So, please remember about one oscillation and what is the difference between oscillatory motion and how it is different. Okay. So this was about the oscillatory motion and oscillation. Okay. Now one more topic is there, that is known as the time period. Time period. What is the time period? Time period is the duration. It is the time, the total time which is taken up by to complete one oscillation. Okay, what is the time period? Time period means it is the complete time, it is the total time which is taken by the bob to complete one oscillation. Now what was one oscillation? You can remember. So the time which is taken by the bob to move towards starting from its mean position, moving towards one of its extreme position, coming back to mean position, going towards the extreme position, coming back to its mean position. This much is being covered in whatever seconds it could be, 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 2 seconds. Okay, so that is known as time period. Okay, so the total time taken to complete one oscillation. So what is the meaning of the word time period? That is known as the total time taken by, it is the total time to complete one oscillation is known as time period. Okay, is it clear? I think now this would be much more clear that what is the meaning of the word time period. It is the total time to complete one oscillation. Now what is that one oscillation? One oscillation was when a pendulum is moving from its mean position towards extreme, coming back to mean, going towards extreme, coming back to mean. This is known as one oscillation. Okay, so if we talk about the time period, it means it is the total time covered by an object which is showing you oscillatory motion. That is known as the time period. Okay, now what about oscillation? Oscillation means the to and fro movement. To and fro movement. Okay, if an object is moving to and fro, it is known as the oscillatory motion. Now can you tell some more oscillatory motions? Oscillatory motion is also shown by one object. I told you that it is the simple pendulum. The other object is you could see the wings of mosquitoes, wings of butterflies, wings of the insect fluttering at the same time. It is also a type of oscillatory motion once it is moving like this. Okay, so it is moving to and fro. Okay, simply if you are swinging on the swing, then what happens? You are moving to and fro. You are moving to and fro. So this is known as oscillatory motion. So these are the examples of oscillatory motion. Even I have also made this, this small experiment. This I just now told you, shown you this one is also an example of oscillatory motion. If you are tying a stone in the string and it is moving like this, it is known as oscillatory motion, because it is moving only to, it is showing only to and fro movement. So this kind of object is also known as the oscillatory motion, but I don't know what would be the name for this, but still it is working as an oscillatory motion. So I just wanted to tell you that any object which is showing to and fro movement is known as the oscillatory object, and that motion is known as oscillatory motion. Okay, children. So that was all about which we discussed today. So we have seen about average speed, we have seen about the periodic motion, in which I simply discussed about the oscillatory motion, where I have taught you what is one oscillation and what is the meaning of the term time period. Okay, so we have seen this much of things, and today in today's video. Now children, that's all for today's video. I'm going to come up with another video in the next, for the next topic which is there in the lesson. Okay, there are some more clocks to be discussed. So that's all for today. I'll meet you all in the next video.